Hey, man.
Hey.
I'm almost done in the other room. How's everything going in here? Wall's looking awesome.
Yeah, everything's going fine. Thanks.
Good. Okay, cool. Hey, you're not actually reading any of the pages in there, right? Because I think we both know that wouldn't turn out very well.
No, I'm not reading anything in here. I'm just trying to find a place on the wall for it.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to go finish up. I'll check back in a little bit, okay?
Yeah, sounds good, dude.
All right.
Kandahar, Strada, Thrus, Dactu, Wafradus, Montos.
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
And we find ourselves in a bit of a predicament, but, we'll figure out a way out of this, I think. But we're here to go ahead and cover some things, and what more appropriate but to go ahead and get through the Evil Dead movies, right?
Right. What better place to be than locked in the fruit cellar?
So we're gonna go ahead and review all the major Evil Dead stuff, and the first one we're gonna start with is I think we're gonna start with the original full-length Evil Dead movie. So what year was that one? What year was it?
I believe that was 81.
81. Okay, cool. So yes, this was the original Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie that was kind of the basis for a lot of the stuff going forward, and it did indeed star a very young Bruce Campbell, and it was the original, not as funny portrayal of the story. I do say the story because it's the same story that we see 4 different times throughout the 5 movies. but yeah,
There's only 3 movies.
Well,
Okay, well,
not true.
Oh.
There's a remake too.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm not counting that.
but anyway, let's go ahead and get into the original here, like we normally talk about movies. The story. Oh no, overall thoughts. I still enjoy this movie, but it might be my least favorite of all of the Evil Dead entries, to be honest with you. It's still a good movie. It's still enjoyable, but it's my least favorite of all of these really good movies.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my overall thoughts. You?
My overall thoughts is I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah.
So this movie has a special place in my heart. It was the first horror movie I bought as a kid.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it scared the living shit out of me. And a lot of it was to do with the sound. The sound design, especially, was the eeriest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the makeup at the time, like, it was scary for the time, and being a kid seeing it, it was fucking terrifying. But this one, while it's not perfect, and obviously I will say Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorites, but the first Evil Dead is still fantastic in its own right of just being a straight horror movie.
Yeah. So go ahead and hit the story on it real quick. I mean, everyone pretty much knows it, so you don't have to take forever with it.
That's
but
true.
Go for it.
A group of friends go up to a cabin for the weekend, find a book and a tape, and basically, one by one, are possessed and attacked by demons possessing their friends.
Yes. Yes, Deadite demons.
Yes.
And we do get the premiere of, well, no, not technically the premiere of, but the first full-length feature appearance of a very familiar seller, and very many other things in this version of the film. But I always enjoyed the story of it. It's a very straightforward horror movie, but done with a certain panache, and the way the demons sort of spread was very unique and fast and really cool. So
Brutal.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the way the story played out, and the acting was actually, for a quote-unquote B horror movie, you know, had really good acting, I felt like. And I mean, you know, there's some cheese for sure, but the cheese is on purpose. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I dug the story and the acting. What about the acting for you?
Oh, absolutely. The acting, again, it was one of those things like you can't really knock it too much because it was a movie of its time, but the acting sold it. There were unknown actors technically at the time, so they were putting their best foot forward.
Yeah.
And knowing this, obviously Sam Raimi, he knows how to work with his crew and what he wants to get from them.
Yeah.
No, this was absolutely fantastic, and then you could see Bruce like before his his golden times, before he really had a name for himself. He's like, man, that chin's going places.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's the very unique filmmaking that began in this, but you know, mostly the Deadite demon floating camera. You know, that had its early appearances here as well. And
the cool fact is that it was actually shot on a motorbike riding through the woods.
That's so cool. Yeah. He did a lot of really cool, interesting, unique stuff for being a B horror movie, and it really made him stand out. So I really dug the filmmaking of this. You know, it was the start of something really special. You could tell he was still sort of experimenting. He hasn't completely fine-tuned it yet, but it's really, really well presented and put together.
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely see with even a lot of the everything in this movie was practical effects for the most part, except for a couple of scenes towards the end. We had some stop motion stuff, but even then, for their budget, what they had, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
He definitely knew what he was wanting to get from this story, and he executed it.
Yeah.
The nice thing too is you could see in even later movies, scenes that he basically the way he shot it in this, he recreated in other ones and just perfected it and made it better.
Yeah, and the sound design was awesome. You know,
the sound design was the biggest thing, especially with the Deadites rising. You have the Kandarian demon going through the woods chasing people.
Right.
Those little things, the snapping of trees as it's barreling through the forest.
Yeah, lots of really cool stuff, man. I mean, and then the effects, the gore effects, the special makeup effects, all really cool, especially for B horror. You know, I mean, high level stuff and you know, interesting and unique in the atmosphere at the time. You know, so I really dug the hell out of all of the effects in this.
Well, absolutely. The cool thing about this is that's one of the movies that even your actors were technically part of your crew. They were still doing makeup and things like that.
Yeah.
And they sold it. Again, you work with what your budget is. You put it where you know it's going to work the best. You have a good team behind it, and those effects are going to execute well.
Yeah.
Again,
indeed.
they don't necessarily hold up for all of what we have today.
Right.
But in their own certain way, they still look fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of it is really good. Again, I enjoy the movie. It's a really good movie. It's just my least favorite of the really good stuff that's in this franchise. So I still enjoy it. I just don't revisit it nearly as much as the other ones. But overall, if somehow you haven't seen it, definitely check out the original Evil Dead.
Out of 5 chainsaws, how would you rate this?
Oh, this one I would give 3.5 chainsaws because I know I have to leave room for other stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
what about
fair.
you?
I'll give it a 3.5-4.
Okay.
Yeah.
3.5 to 4 or a 3.54?
60-40.
Okay. All right. So 3.5 also then. Jesus Christ. Don't be a waffler on your very first freaking scoring thing. All right. So
I do it just to piss you off.
And you're gonna piss them off. That's not what we want to do.
We're stuck in here.
Yeah, I know. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, so that's going to do it for our review of the original Evil Dead. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Robert the Wolfman.
Wish us luck. And remember, stay scared.